It's Thursday, March 22nd, and you're listening to The Geek at Geek News Central, show number 752, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Save 25% on a one-year fourth-generation hosting account by using the promo code CES2. Geek News Central is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Have we got a great show lined up for you? Yes, I'm a little bit under the weather. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Strap in. Here it comes.
This is the Geek News Central Podcast, part of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. So grab a cup of coffee, take a seat, and crank up that volume. Because you're listening to Todd on the Geek News Central Podcast.
Aloha and welcome to the Geek News Central podcast, coming to you as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Greater Honolulu. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. Of course, my name is Todd Cochran, and I want to encourage you to get over to geeknewscentral.com. Check out all our great content over there. I tell you, our writers have been doing an absolutely fabulous job, and definitely check all the content out that's there daily. Don't forget to add the site to your RSS reader. Of course, you want to get subscribed to the podcast via the podcast RSS feeds, via iTunes, Zune Marketplace. That's really the best way to kind of stay abreast of the show. We've got a place there for you to sign up for the newsletter as well. The newsletter really is a great way for you to be reminded that there's a new show on the street, as we send you an email immediately following the show with all the show notes in it. So definitely check that out and get over to geeknewscentral.com. Of course, if you missed us live, you can watch the show on our Tech Podcast channel on the Roku, Boxy, Samsung Smart TV, Google TV. Really, on 160 plus devices, you can find the show and listen or watch, whatever is your pleasure. We just want to say a warm welcome to all of you that are longtime listeners of the show, the Ohana. And of course, for those of you that don't know what Ohana means here in Hawaii, Ohana is really about family, and we want to welcome you to the family. This show is a work in progress of love towards all the folks that are subscribed and new to the show. Of course, we got Ohana Wear at cafepress.com/Ohana store. So you can definitely check that out. Hey, if you want to reach me on the show, it's real easy. You can do so via our hotline. Hotline is open for your, basically for you to rant, rave, share, whatever you've got. And you can do that at area code 619-342-7365. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can email me here at geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com as well, or follow me on Twitter at geeknews. That's a great way to follow, stay abreast of everything that's going on with the show, of course. And I want to welcome you. Hey, thanks for being here, and thanks for being part of the family. And I got a lot of stuff lined up for you. I'm fighting the crud. When I went on a trip and I came home, or actually before I went on a trip, my son had this real deep, raspy cough, and this is my youngest child. And, so we'd had him to the doctor, and, it basically was going around here. And I got back off my trip. My wife had it, and she's like, stay away from me. I'm contagious. Well, I didn't stay far enough away from her because I've got it, and we're just, we're playing ping pong here, and it is like just this whole head thing. It's just driving me crazy. I've taken some over-the-counter stuff to try to dry myself out and get rid of this sinus headache and stuff, but what is it? I mean, I never, ever get sick, and this is twice in 1 year already. So loading up on the vitamins and, just trying to do healthy things, but just doesn't help. I'm behind the 8 ball. Hey, let's take care of a little business here. Then I want to get into a real serious topic for real quick. But we want to thank our good friends at GoDaddy.com for being a sponsor here at the show. GoDaddy really has some great products and services. And really, when it comes to domain names, comes to virtual dedicated servers, SSL certificates, and a host of other options. And a lot of people kind of say, I don't like all those extra options that GoDaddy offers to me and tries to sell up. What I want you to do is when you're over there the next time and you pick up a domain name, just kind of look. Just don't skip through those those added value stuff that they try to upsell you on, definitely take a look and really pay attention to what they're offering, because they've got some gems in there, and a lot of people just seem to skip. They go straight to the shopping cart and check out, which is cool too. And we want you to make sure that you use my promo code when you're over there. But we want to remind you of our 25% off promo going on right now by using the promo code CES2. And this is a special offer. You can get the 4th generation web hosting account. And they got it on sale right now for $849, but you can use this code with this promo code, okay? So that's the best part. The code can be combined with sales to save even more money. And we've proven that the site, the 4th generation hosting, can withstand just the absolute ultimate punishment. We had all of our CES content back in January and February that was hosted on a 4GH web hosting account. We moved many, many, many terabytes of data. Matter of fact, I think they were a little bit surprised, but it stood up to that punishment. And of course, we had special permission to move that type of traffic, but it's a great service. And I've got several of my .coms on there. The Chrome Show, chromeshow.com is hosted on a 4GH hosting account. Of course, Geek News Central is on its own dedicated box at GoDaddy as well. They've got great dedicated servers. Hey, if when you get ready, Geek 5 will save you 15% on any order. CES2 saves you 25% on that 4th generation hosting. CoFeb 3 will get you $7.99.coms. And of course, you want to look at those private registrations, and you can save some good money here. Save $10 when you transfer or purchase a domain by using the code March4. If you go over to my website at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy, you'll find all my codes. And I tell you, if you're a blogger or you're anyone that's supporting basically doing content up on the web, we definitely appreciate a link back to this page. This helps drive traffic to us. And ultimately, you help me keep the lights on here at Geek News Central, and it's important. Matter of fact, tonight I'm kind of sporting my GoDaddy T-shirt, so I really dressed up tonight for the show. But anyway, thanks for GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here at GNC. All right, let's go ahead and talk just a little bit. My good friend Ryan Ozawa, and matter of fact, those of you that have watched in the past the 24-hour podcasts that I did, and of course I didn't do one last year, and I may do one this year, haven't decided yet. But Ryan Ozawa comes and has been here for my last hour of the show, 2 or 3 years in a row. And Ryan and his wife Jen, matter of fact, Jen tonight is resting and recovering at a hospital here in Honolulu. I'm not going to go into too much details. Ryan's publicly talking about it on the web, but they basically, Jen has got a cancer, and my heart and prayers go out to both Ryan and Jen, and we have you in our thoughts, and hope she'll have a speedy recovery here. But I know that it's a trying time for them, and we probably got other listeners of our Ohana here that have some cancer going on as well, and of course we want to put our thoughts out for you guys as well. But we hope that they both hope she has a speedy recovery. Like I said, been dealing with the sick kid crud, and it's just driving me crazy. Hopefully I'm not going to be, those of you that are watching are probably like, oh my God, oh gross. He's wiping his nose, but there's really no other way to deal with it at this point. But hopefully those of you that are listening, we can spare you the grotesqueness. Is that even a word tonight? Well, I tell you, been doing paperwork. We've got a lot going on in Q2. Been talking with our vendors, getting ready to turn on a bunch of new advertising deals. So we're really excited about April 1st coming around. And so I've been working on that and getting ready to basically put the word out to our podcasters that they're going to be on a new buy. So probably be working that heavily over the weekend and probably tomorrow as well. Depends on how well I feel, I guess. Hey, we are going to have one of our team members from Geek News Central go out to a Ford Drive event in San Francisco, and looking forward to sending one of our team members out for that. I'll probably be attending a Ford event in June, but we've got one of our team members. That's one of the cool things. We've got a I couldn't go to the Ford event that they were having because it falls during the same week as NAB. So I just basically put an email out to my writing team. I says, any of you want a free trip to San Fran? And one of the team members said, yeah, I'll go. And so one of our team members is getting a free trip to San Francisco. They're going to be able to drive some Ford cars. So it's pretty cool what they're going to, and this is, one of the small perks of being a writer here at Geek News Central. And right now, I think we've got a good complement of writers. I don't think I'm going to be adding any more. I've got a couple other people to reply to, but we'll keep you advised on that. As I reminded you all, I'm going to be at NAB, and I've been talking to a vendor there. We might be bringing you a live stream. They're deciding whether or not they want to loan me a backpack, and we'll keep you advised on whether or not they decide to do that or not. But we'll be bringing you some great coverage from the show. Haven't got our guests lined up for the Saturday Morning Tech Show yet. We'll keep you advised on that via the website and on Twitter. But just also want to let you know, those of you I'd gotten a few emails from folks wanting to meet up when I was going to be up in Michigan after going out to Indianapolis. As of this morning, essentially my mom's schedule is not cooperating. She is driving out to Chesapeake, Virginia to pick up a load of stuff. My sister's getting ready to move home. And so she's going out there the evening of the night of the 5th. And, of course, I was planning on coming into Michigan the night of the 5th of April, then being there all weekend. But they don't get back until midday Saturday, and I plan on flying out Sunday. So we changed the plans. I'm just going to be coming straight back to Honolulu after the Indianapolis meeting, be getting back in here on Friday instead of heading up to Michigan. So there will be no meetup, at least in Michigan, that weekend. So any of you that are in the Indianapolis area, definitely let me know. We'll schedule a time and hook up in Indy someplace and do dinner. All right, let's take care of the last little business here, and then we'll get into the content. I got a good stack of stuff for you tonight. And GoToMeeting. It's a program, an application. It's really not even a program. It is like it's like a hammer in my toolbox. I mean, it does a job. So often when we're doing business, we develop trust in the people we know. And oftentimes when you're first starting out and doing business, you really don't know someone. And, you may not know the person you're meeting with. And, when you're on the phone, it's kind of impersonal. And that can be a tough hurdle in business. But with employees and clients around the world, I recommend GoToMeeting with HD Faces. It's really a simple online meeting service with group HD video. Helps you get better connected to the people you depend on for success. And really how it works is very simple. It takes a webcam, and you click to instantly collaborate with your team or clients in real time from anywhere in the world. And it really helps build trust, confidence, makes meetings really absolutely more effective. So I use it for my meetings here. Matter of fact, my webcam sits right on my desk, and it's basically pretty much on 24/7 when I'm working with the programming team out in Columbus. But you can start hosting your own face-to-face online meetings today with GoToMeeting. You can try it for free for 30 days. It's really simple. All you got to do is go over to GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the promo code podcast. Be sure to use the promo code podcast. That'll get you that free 30-day trial. Again, GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free button, that orange button on the website, and fill the information out, and you get that free 30-day trial. So we want to thank GoToMeeting for being a sponsor here at Geek News Central, and they're another longtime sponsor here, and we really appreciate your support of them and trying those trials out as well. All right, let me go ahead here and load up Chrome and see what we have in the stack. Kind of a slow, I've been noticing it's been an interesting news week per se. As up, I look, on a day-to-day basis, I'll load up a variety of different websites, but, it's been kind of slow. And tonight there was a little bit of news, but I think we're kind of in this lull. People are really working hard. So I expect some major announcements coming out in and around NAB, but definitely things have been a little bit on the slow side on the tech news-wise. But out of New Zealand, O.com has talked to Judge and giving him his Mercedes back. And along with that, about $60,000 a month. Yes, you heard me correctly. $60,000 a month for living expenses. Apparently, his mansion that he rents, doesn't own, cost him about $1 million a year for rent. That's just simply insane. But he's got going to get about $60,000 a month, and he has to use that to pay bills and stay, fluent. His wife's, I guess, pregnant, getting ready to have twins. But he's been given back the use of the 2011 Mercedes-Benz, but he has to arrange insurance and garaging for the car. We know, of course, the U.S. government is seeking to extradite.com and 3 New Zealand-based associates on charges including copyright infringement, wire fraud relating to the file-sharing website. But even more surprising is that the website that's hosting them, basically where Mega Upload was, they're in trouble. They're basically saying, hey, this is costing us $9,000 a day to keep these servers up and running and keep the media stored. We need some money. And, I did the math on that. And if based on what they're saying, with 1,100 servers, it's costing them about $240 a month per server. They should have been using some other companies' servers, because those are some expensive bad boys. But I guess depends on the quality of the server they're using. But so they're basically asking the courts, I want to shut this thing down, and they want to get these 1,100 servers offline because it's costing us money. So it'll be interesting where this goes. But it looks like the defense are being able to get access to some of their bank account. But turns out that Mega Upload had about $300,000 in one of his accounts, and that's the one he has been given some limited access to pay some bills and to eat. Boy, I'm going to tell you that guy probably can eat. He's not a small boy whatsoever. Absolutely not. All right, tomorrow, my kids have been talking about this. My sister's kids have been talking about this. They are all wanting to go to the movies, and then probably tomorrow will be impossible. But The Hunger Games is coming out, and it's going to be on, available. So what's the story with, I obviously am behind on the times on this. But, if my kids are talking about it, and, my sister's kids are talking about it, my mom's talking about it, this is probably going to be a good movie. So I may be at a movie theater tomorrow night watching The Hunger Games if we can get access or get tickets. But I wish I would have read the books first. A lot of adults are saying even when they read the books, they were pretty good reads. So, but if you're looking forward to go to The Hunger Games tomorrow, love to hear your feedback on it, on how the movie was or is, so that as we're getting into the afternoon hours here in Hawaii, I'm making a decision whether or not I'm going to go or not. Okay, there's signs in a recent Mountain Lion build that Retina display is going to be coming to MacBooks sooner than later. This clue is found in the latest developers release of OS 10.8, suggests that this summer, probably Retina displays will come to Macs. So they've seen some oversized graphics that have accidentally been left in there. So we'll see where this goes, but that's the discussion point. I think Retina is coming to MacBooks. Now, I'm going to talk about Windows 8 a little bit later on Retina as well, but we'll get to that here in a little while. The FCC has published a voluntary code of ISP conduct to combat botnets. The FCC, working with communication companies including Verizon, Cox, Comcast, basically passed a voluntary code on Thursday that spells out the steps participating ISPs must take to combat botnets. Those same companies, along with CenturyLink, AT&T, Sprint, and Time Warner, have already committed to follow the code, comprising of a customer base that accounts for at least half of the U.S.-based internet subscribers. So what it basically says is that ISPs agreeing to abide by the code must take meaningful action in each of the following areas: education, detection, notification, remediation, collaboration, to help folks that are being, essentially, their machines have been taken over by botnets. So, on the detection scene, essentially the network internet service provider would have to identify botnet activity in the ISP's network, attain information on the botnet, and enable end user to self-determine potential bot infections on their end, and then basically help folks get the bots off their machines. So they're basically trying to shut botnets down from the ISPs themselves. I think this is great, and so we'll see where this goes. But this is just one more thing. I just hope, what is this going to do for Safe Harbors Act? Because now what's going to happen is that the ISPs are going to be definitely sniffing the traffic to see, to see what's out there. Now, there is a article over on maawg.org. It's the ABCs for the ISP code. It basically breaks everything down, and you can actually read the actual recommendations by the FCC. So anyway, I'll have the link up to this in the show notes. You can check it out. But maybe this will help some folks who are basically not aware that their machines have been taken over by a botnet, help them get some help here. So we'll see where this goes over time. Well, I should have talked about this a little earlier on the Mega Upload portion of the show, but Megaload Upload users are being essentially given fake settlement demands. So criminals are attempting to extort internet users by claiming there could be financial implications for those who use file sharing site Mega Upload for infringing activities. For this past several days, a fake law firm claiming to act on behalf of entertainment companies such as Universal, Sony, EMI, and Paramount had been claiming cash settlements from innocent victims. And they get this fancy letter, and it basically says, "Give us cash, or we're going to take you to court." Well, it's a scam. So I'll have the link up in the show notes for this, but the folks over at tortfreak.com are the ones that have the samples of the letters. It looks like primarily right now who's being targeted here is maybe Dutch internet users. And what else? It looks like some English speaking people too, but they're asking only 10,000 euros. That's all they want to settle. So if you get a letter from one of these guys, don't pay attention to it. It's a fake, okay? So definitely keep your eyes up. Well, I was pretty excited. I saw this article talking about a judge saying that BitTorrent downloads are protected anonymous speech. So what had happened was a Miami judge had supposedly issued a landmark order in which protects BitTorrent downloaders from mass lawsuits filed by copyright holders. And he basically said that that users had a right to anonymous speech, which is protected by the Constitution. And that's what they were saying. What you were doing when you were on using BitTorrent, you were protected by the First Amendment. But shortly after this came on the news, there was a question, and it turns out that the order was drafted by a defense attorney, and the judge apparently signed it by mistake, assuming all parties agreed on it. This is bad news for the defendants and means that mass BitTorrent lawsuits in Florida are very much alive for now. So anyway, it's been rescinded. So this is, he signed it by mistake. So it's too bad. This would have been a major, major win for us. So we'll see where this goes. But yeah, I'm sure the opposing party was like, what? But anyway, this is 615 of you in Florida are still potentially underneath the gun for those BitTorrent lawsuits. There is some word out as well that down in Australia that the ISPs and representatives from the Australian government have been having discussions with the entertainment industry and trying to come up with an anti-BitTorrent piracy policy. And apparently they haven't been making much progress. So there's some rumor out that those talks are not going well, and both parties are separated by a long distance. But these were secret discussions that were going on where the ISPs were basically trying to be strong-armed into setting basically like they have here, the ISPs have been strong-armed to spy on their users. Now that goes in effect July 15th here, where our ISPs are going to start spying on us and what we're doing on the internet, and they're going to be enacting their six-strike law here in the United States. Not law, but policy. So this is really under heavy attack in Australia as well. So those of you that are listening down under, make sure that you're getting on the phone to your ISP and tell them, hey, I don't support any anti-BitTorrent piracy policies. So please keep the fight up for us and look out for our best interests. So we'll see where this goes, but only time will tell. All right, Google wants to serve you ads based on the background noise of your phone calls. When I read this, I said, huh? You got to be kidding me. But apparently that, let's waiting for this to load. Let me load this up. This is over on thenextweb.com. And essentially what's going on, it's a patent. Google has filed a patent that really, makes me feel like we're, the spying levels continuing. The patent discusses technology to analyze the background noise during your phone call and serve up ads based on your environmental conditions. This is, I don't know about you guys, but this is even more creepy. They're going to be listening in. Doesn't that just weird everybody out? It does me. I don't know about you guys, but it makes me go, wow. So yeah, they're already reading our email, but now they're going to listen as well. And, this was actually kind of a spoof. Originally, The Onion had reported that some time ago that Google would start doing this. And boy, a spoof has turned into the real deal. So we'll see. We'll see where this takes us. But Google wants to serve you ads based on the background noise. So if they hear cars driving by, they're going to give you a car ad or something. So pretty weird. All right, another warning for those of you down under, especially if you are, if you have unsecure Wi-Fi. Some Australian police squads are going to be going on war driving missions to help residents protect their wireless internet networks. The State Crimes Operation Command Fraud and Corporate Crime Group they're going to be start doing war driving, in which police will detect unsecured wireless in homes and businesses are prime targets for cyber criminals. The project was officially launched yesterday to coincide with National Consumer Fraud Week. Officers in high-tech crime investigation units on war driving missions will drive the streets of Brisbane with a laptop computer looking for unsecured networks. And then those owners of businesses and residents will be mailed information about how to effectively secure their communication. So what else are they going after when they're out there? Well, the queen of daytime television, Oprah Winfrey, of course, who stopped her show last year to launch her Oprah Winfrey Network, is they're having major troubles. Excuse me. They have cut their staff about 50%, and they fired or canceled Rosie on her show. But there's a pretty critical article over at paidcontent.org basically saying that big names don't necessarily equal hit channels. And one thing's for sure is they're a group that's dealing with extremely high production cost, salaries, all the stuff they have to do to, build a network. And they're going to spend they're going to lose this year $150 million. And I think they're using all of Oprah's money. And I don't think they're using investment money. But the ratings have been so bad that they're really, they're starting to cancel shows. So I'd be curious to see what happens with this. But we've talked about this a little bit, but the network continues to be in trouble. And too bad. I haven't watched any of her, any of her shows on that network. But, after coming off a successful multi-year where I think she was the top paid woman on TV, I think someone said she was making $160 million a year or something like that. She can afford to lose a few $1 million here. She's definitely got cash. But we'll see. We'll see where this leads. All right, how would you like to buy a laptop sleeve that cost 10,000 times the price of the MacBook Pro. Well, someone has created an object that will cover a MacBook Pro with 8,800 diamonds, and they're saying it's going to cost $11 million. Who is going to buy something like this? 8,800 diamonds at $11 million? There is definitely, some people have more money than common sense. It just blows me away. It really, really does. But if you want to buy this and you got the money laying around, you could. All right, for a little fun in the office, it's time to go medieval in the office. And I'd like to have one of these in just my house to have it pointed towards the door. So when my kid's in here, I can fire away. This is pretty cool. You can get this over at Think Geek. It's available for $15. And essentially, it's a catapult. And, you can use it to launch stuff. And very cool stuff. It's, nice way to keep people on their toes. But, pretty cool things for fit. It'll throw a ball up to 40 feet. And the problem, though, is I'm just wondering how you're going to get the, usually most offices and most home ceilings are not that high. So be careful. You may end up with holes in the roof if you fire this thing and it goes up instead of, launches at a low trajectory. And be careful about whacking people's eyes out, too. Okay, next article up. We're going to change here up a little topic. Seismic. Apparently, they've laid off half their staff, and they pivot back to social cross-posting. So, got some challenges here, and they're going to be down to 15 people. So, they're shifting away from building enterprise tools and going back more to the social side. So, we'll see. But they had $4 million in fresh funding last year. So maybe the investors are getting a little impatient, telling them they gotta shift sideways. All right, Blip is making some major changes, and I've never been a big fan of Blip's external distribution. They have not had great channels, but what they've done is that they're shedding partners, and they're no longer going to be distributing Blip on AOL, Yahoo, MSN, Apple TV, Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, YouTube, Samsung Smart TV, LG Smart TV, Panasonic, Bravia, Google TV, TiVo, Roku, Vizio. So I guess they're canceling a bunch of distribution partners and going to be dropping them from, you put your video up on Blip, and when you hit publish, you have an option to send them to different sites. And they're shutting those down. Now, I don't know if they're going to shut down YouTube because YouTube seems to be a pretty popular cross-posting, but they definitely are severing ties with Boxy, Popbox, Samsung, and Vizio, and they're going to be stopped distributing its videos to TiVo, DivX, and Sony in April. So, obviously, we're trying to cut some cost here, but an interesting move by the folks at Blip. I've told folks that have been on Blip, make sure that you have a backup plan if they decide to pull their RSS feeds at some point where you can't get access to their RSS feeds. But we'll see, because that was rumored that might be getting cut at some point in the past. I'm pretty excited. There's a new bill, and even though it got altered a little bit in a way that I think is going to limit, but essentially the startup bill is going to allow startups to basically pitch for money. Before, you could not really say out publicly that you were shopping for cash, and this is pretty awesome. There is now the ability, and you're going to, if the president signs this, if you want to raise cash, you can raise up to $1 million a year through basically crowdfunding or source funding. And basically, you still have to be a accredited investor, I guess, which, that's too bad because that cuts a large majority of people that are, that might be eligible to actually do some investing. But you're going to be able to list your site on a site and trying to raise money, and you can do it publicly. You're not going to have to be like all quiet and saying that you're doing so. So this is big, and so people are excited about it. This could change the dynamic of how sites get funded, and there's all kinds of SEC stuff that's going on. But $1 million a year, that's pretty impressive. And it basically how much people are going to be allowed to invest will be based upon basically how much money they make and what they there's going to be some levels set on how much you can actually invest in a company. But what a way to get funded and get people investing in your company. This is great. It really is, because technically I could do something on this show, and I'm not saying that because this law is not in place right now, but I could say that we're looking for investors. Once this law is in place, I could say we're looking for investors. We got our site listed over here. This is what you're going to get for what you invest, and this is your stakeholding, and blah blah blah. And we could do some awesome things with Geek News Central. And now I don't know if any of you would want to invest, but it could turn out to be a very cool project. But again, you have to be one of these certified or validated investor, which makes it a little more tricky, because the average person usually is not a certified investor. All right, I want to show you a cool video, or actually a screenshot, and I'm waiting for the page to load. Why are you so slow, Vimeo? All right, it's finally loading. The stars as viewed from the International Space Station. This is a time-lapse video depicting the stars from low Earth orbit as viewed from the International Space Station. The images were edited using Adobe Lightroom with some cropping to make the stars the focal point, each shot and with manipulation of contrast to bring out the stars a bit more. So this is a cool video. It's 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Definitely play it. I was pretty wowed. It looks awesome. And cool little video by the folks at NASA. Also, the folks over at Gizmodo have a write-up on some new findings on vitamins. So if you're taking beta carotene and vitamin E, you need to read this article, because they're finding that beta carotene and vitamin E seem to increase mortality. And so many higher doses of vitamin A, and so does higher doses of vitamin A. So there's some things here that people need to be aware of and make sure you're not doing too much of. And I had to laugh because this was a report put out by the Cochrane Systematic Review, not me, but some other firm, the Cochrane Library, I guess. Okay. Also, for those fellas that are a little thin on top, there's a new discovery that may bring some hope for those of us that need a little more hair. And tests carried out on tissue from scalps of more than 20 men with male pattern baldness, known as androgenic alopecia, AGA, whatever that is. The results showed bald areas had levels of protein PGD2 3 times higher than hairy areas. So there it said already there's about 10 drugs currently available that could block the receptors that allow PGD2 to work. And we might all be able to put a little cream on our heads and get hair growing. So pretty exciting. Now, I don't know if this was for premature balding or what, but I'm pretty excited because I definitely got the old hair loss going on back here. My daughter just teases the living crap out of me. All right, fellas, this is, if your wife's sitting down beside you and you're on Facebook together, it probably doesn't make much sense to pick up the phone and call the cops and ask them to come arrest your wife, because she won't leave you alone, because she won't leave you alone from being on Facebook. Guess this guy is going to be in jail for 60 days because he kept calling 911 and telling the cops to come arrest his wife. Apparently, he wanted to talk to somebody that he didn't want her to see, but apparently they had made some deal. She had agreed that if she was able to drink 8 beers, that she would go to bed and go to sleep. But she changed her mind and decided she wanted to sit there and look over his shoulder while he was on Facebook. So the cops basically charged him with inappropriate 911 calls and some other charges, and he was sentenced to 60 days in jail. No Facebook for you. All right. If you have a new iPad and you're using your iPad to cover, you may have found that it doesn't work. They're finding that some new iPad smart covers have an incompatibility issue caused by magnet polarity, and the screens won't turn off with your old iPad cover. So, you have to whip out your credit card and spend another $60 to upgrade your covers. Make sure you get the new iPad cover, and not an older one, okay? I don't know how they're going to distinguish that in the store. iPad 2 cover, iPad 3, but some people are running into that issue. All right, a bunch of AT&T Android phones are about to get an ice cream sandwich update. So if you have an LG Nitro, a Motorola Atrix 2, Motorola Atrix 4G, Pantech Burst, Pantech Element, Samsung Captive Glide, Samsung Galaxy Note, Samsung S2, Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket, and a Samsung Galaxy Tab 8.9, you're going to get the update to ice cream sandwich here in the next couple of days. So be aware of that. All right, I had a little problem with my bank here in Honolulu, and actually talked to one of their corporate people today. They called me to basically see if they could calm me down a little bit. But essentially what's happening is Visa is locking out credit cards used on Skype purchases. So I had my Bank of Hawaii corporate Visa card locked out permanently when I renewed a Skype service this past weekend. The card was flagged for fraud. And even though I called and said, yeah, I made those charges, they still lock the card out. So be very careful about using a Visa card and charging anything on Skype. And you may get shut down. You could have your card rejected and basically have to wait till they mail you another one. I will say that they called me and apologized, and they are FedExing me a new credit card, a new corporate card, so I can have that by tomorrow. We'll see if it gets here. But I wonder if Skype knows that Visa is no longer accepted for Skype purchases. Another article that's over in Geek News Central is something from Eventbrite, and this is pretty awesome. They've launched a credit card reader for the iPad. So what they've done is this device makes it much easier for people who are trying to sell tickets to an event. They've created it at the door. It's a credit card dongle, or reader dongle for the iPad. You get one for free. And if you have an event going on with an Eventbrite, when someone comes, they just scan the credit card that they paid for their event ticket with, or they can pay at the door, and it charges it right there. So the dongle can be used to sell tickets for fundraisers. It can be used by musicians who perform at a coffee shop, bar, or other venue. When it sells CDs, T-shirts, and other merchandise. And this is pretty awesome. So this is a great way, and you can get this through Eventbrite. You don't have to have basically a credit card account. And they have the ability to email the transaction. But this is pretty cool for those of you that are having a small event. And they give you basically the dongle costs $10, but you get a discount for it on your first basically purchases. So definitely check that out, and I'll have a link up in the show notes for you, okay? My nose is just like crazy going on here, so I keep switching to the actual the other screen so I can actually grab my handkerchief and keep wiping my nose. It just, gosh, it drives me crazy when I'm like this. And I took some medicine earlier tonight before the show to help keep me from dry me up, but it obviously is working really well. All right, Group M and Nielsen are working to combine online and TV metrics. So what's going on here is that Nielsen ratings, which dealt specifically with TV stuff, they want to really get in a place where they're figuring out what's going on digital. Enough of us are watching stuff online that we are now basically impacting Nielsen's business, and they're working with Group M. And Group M is a big, 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 big media company in New York. They're one of the biggest. They have a bunch of divisions. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with this, but the Group M has they're a force to be reckoned. When Group M decides something, everyone else in the market just kind of follows. It's pretty crazy. Okay. The U.S. military is readying a cyber rules of engagement. Of course, in any military conflict, there's rules of engagement. And so I guess the DOD, and let's see if I can get this to load. This was over on Information Week. It's loading awfully slow. They're going to be introducing the rules of engagement, the policy which with the Joint Chiefs of Staff and also Secretary of Defense have been collaborating on for a long time. And according to Assistant Secretary of Defense for Global Strategic Affairs, basically they're going to be announcing these guidelines and rules. I don't know if they're going to be public or not, but they're going to be working with ISPs and some other stuff. So at some point here, the military agencies are going to have some rules on how and when to fight fire with fire in the event of a cyber attack. So very, very cool that they're going to be putting that together. And we'll see if they announce it. I can't imagine that they would actually announce it. If you are a Mac user and you have a new MacBook, you probably are already aware of the Thunderbolt connection, but the folks at Lacey have come out with called the Too Big Thunderbolt Series external hard drive. These things are $800, but this is a massive external hard drive. Holds multiple types of drives, and you can put up to 3 terabytes on the inside for grand total. Actually, 2 3-terabyte spinners for grand total of 6 terabytes, and it comes with factory software and RAID 0 configuration. So lots of features here for $800, but definitely check the Lacey products out. We did a lot of interviews with the folks at Lacey, or several interviews with Lacey at, or actually I got China Lacey at CES. So definitely check out their new Too Big Thunderbolt Series external hard drive. And I have that, of course, link up in the show notes. All right, let's talk just a little bit here on Windows 8. And here, you're going to have to up your game with Windows 8 because, well, the minimum screen size they're saying for Windows 8 is going to be 1024 by 768. But it's going to be able to scale all the way up to same size as iPad, 2560 by 1440. And it'll go on a variety. So, example, they've got a variety of different screen sizes. And depending on the screen size will depend on what the how you basically what you get for resolution. For example, a 27-inch screen, you can go 2560 by 1440 so long as the screen supports 109 DPI. If you have a 23-inch, you go 1920 by 1080 at 96 DPI. If you have a 17-inch, you go 1920 by 1080 with 130 DPI. So just, this is amazing numbers here. If you go to 11.6-inch screen, you do 1920 by 1080 with 190 DPI. So it just goes on and shows you what the requirements are going to be. So I can see a lot of us buying new monitors. It's been a while, but we're going to be required to rethink screen sizes here with the new version of with Windows. Now, Windows 7 screen resolutions, the average size is 1366 by 768. More than 40% of people have that, as compared to less than 2% of people have 1024 by 768. The number of folks actually running 1920 by 1080 is a little bit over 7%. So many of us have already got the bigger screens, but we're talking about really ramping it up here to a much higher resolution and DPI count. So very, very exciting. All right, the U.S. government has sued AT&T. Basically, they're alleging that AT&T knowingly knew that they were allowing illicit folks to use IP relay calls and defraud the government of millions of dollars. As a matter of fact, $25 million to be exact. So what the U.S. government had asked was that anyone that was using the IP relay, and this is a service that's used for folks that are hearing impaired, they basically would do an IP relay call where you would actually, the operator would have a screen, and the person that was trying to talk to you or talking to you would be typing on a keyboard. She would see that and read it to you, and then you would respond back, and she would type in her on her screen, and basically the person that was making the call would be able to see what you had to have a conversation. So, but basically in 2009, the FCC required IP relay providers to verify the accuracy of each registered user's name, because apparently the FCC gives the AT&T carrier $1.30 per minute in reimbursement for every call on the system. Wow. The AP reports that the Department of Justice actions follow a private whistleblower lawsuit filed in 2010 by a former AT&T communication assistant that made the initial allegations about the undue billings. So apparently a lot of criminals use this for some sort of scam, but they're going after AT&T for $25 million. All right, photo fans, you're going to want to go out. If you're a Canon user, you probably already have ordered, but the Canon 5D Mark III has hit the shelves. It's going to set you back a whopping $4,200. Beautiful camera body though. So if you are looking for EOS 5D and you want, it comes with a 24 by 105 lens already, but pretty nice camera. I don't need to do any upgrades in cameras right now for sure. All right, last two articles tonight, and I'm going to get off in here before things get too crazy with my nose. Huge UFO fragment found in Siberia. That's what they're saying, but they really don't know what it is. They found it out in the middle of a forest. It shouldn't be there. The people have said it's something that just recently got there. So there's going to be some investigation, but it's a large metal object. And I'm going to kind of look at this, and I saw it first. I was kind of like, that kind of looks like a something that would be, let's see if I can show you guys. Let me blow it up. Can I blow it up? Yeah, a little bit. It doesn't necessarily look like something that is a UFO. It looks like some sort of a stage from a rocket maybe. But anyway, I'll have the link up in the show notes. You guys can, we'll keep an eye out and see if they figure out what the heck it really is over time. Okay, as well, NASA extend the mission to Mercury and the Moon. So basically, they've extended those missions. Of course, the Mercury spacecraft is doing mapping and all kinds of different stuff. So there's a great write-up here. Pretty cool picture of Mercury, that first one I've seen. And I guess I haven't been paying attention because a lot of these have been released. But here, I should give you guys a sample here. But, well, Mercury kind of looks like the moon. Doesn't look much different than what the moon looks like. But anyway, links up in the show notes. You'll be able to check that out. Okay, have a couple of emails for you today. Let's get into those. Let's see who has written the show. Excuse me. My God. Horrible. Got an email from Richard. He says, hey, Google defends hot file and mega upload in court. We talked about that in the last show. Thanks for that, Richard, though. Got an email here from Carl. He says, hey, Todd, just a short question. I don't see any videos in the special media feed from day 1 or 2 or any pics of the day videos from those days. Am I too late to the party? I know the feed is smacked with stuff, and I'm a little late on starting to download any clips, but hey, I got some stuff. I still got some stuff from last year's CES I haven't had time to watch yet. Of course, Carl's in Sweden. Carl, what it is there's almost 300 videos. So there's about 150 videos that already pushed off the RSS feed. So you're going to have to come over to the site and actually go through the articles. There's really no other way just because the feed gets too big and iTunes chokes on it. And I'm really limited to about 250 to 500K in size of that file. And if I had all 300 episodes in there, that file would be massive. And basically iTunes would flip me the bird, and the feed would be bad in iTunes. So I basically have what I can use, and hopefully you were updating your iTunes stuff all the time and getting the full list. If not, basically come over to the website, okay? Okay, got a really interesting email here from one of our longtime listeners. And it really is fantastic. And I want to thank Stuart for the pictures. You have a lovely family. And Stuart says, Todd, I've been meaning to write for a long time. I'm sure that you remember the gift that you gave my family when you did show 500. I was reminded once again while listening to shows 750 and 751 that your gift was such a blessing. I thought I would take a moment to let you know exactly how things played out, since I thought that you might be interested. It turns out that my initial assessment of my career option was more optimistic than I thought. Not only was I blackballed within the state, I grew to realize that the youth ministry market was collapsing at an unbelievable rate, and may have even grown worse within the last 18 months as churches are really suffering as people's income has decreased. When I received your gift, I was actually considering a job in Montana, which would have moved me and the family far away from my rapidly aging parents. Our daughter is their only grandchildren, and they would not have been able to be a regular part of her life. The money that you sent brought in me enough time to stumble into a job in a different profession, which has provided us with not only the most steady and reliable income that I've had in 20 years, but also a place to live with all utilities included as part of as job compensation. In short, our finances have done nothing but steadily improve, and the job stress is only a fraction of what I experienced in the ministry. All this happened because you brought me enough time to not just jump at the first marginal available opportunity. I'll never be able to thank you enough for what you did. I know that you feel great about everything you gave away with show 750, but trust me, it pales in comparison for how much your previous gift impacted the life of my family. And he went in to include some recent pictures of his family. And so, Stuart, that just makes everything that I do worth it. For those of you that were here for show 500, we basically look for someone to contribute money to as part of our show, our 500 show. And I remember going back, Stuart's story touched me, and we were able to help them out. Now, it wasn't a huge amount of money, but it obviously was enough to help them carry over. So, Stuart, good luck. Thank you for being part of the HANA. Thank you for sending me this email. I mean, gosh, this is it's really what this show's all about. And if I ever get to North Carolina, I'll take you up for dinner. Absolutely. Don't think it's on my agenda, but would love to come down and meet your wife and see your lovely daughter. But everyone, that's just to me, I got that. I was just like, wow, very, very cool. And that's what being part of the HANA is really about here. It's about the family, and I'm glad that we were able to help Stuart and his family out. Okay. Last article here, and actually not last article. Oh man, I need to download this, and let me see if I can do that. I have a promo here for, see if I can get this downloaded without causing too much hate and discontent with the system here. Podcast, let me put you in the right directory, and promo, I'll drop you up on top. Got a show. Let's see if I can save this. Let me give you a little details here. Joe, one of our longtime listeners of the show, he's starting a podcast, and it's called Two Rambling Idiots, and it's going to be over at tworamblingidiots.blogspot.com. Let me load this file here so we can play this promo. Let's add file. And go there. I didn't have this loaded, obviously. And okay, so here we go. We're gonna play his promotion, and everyone check his show out. Here we go.
Hello, that's Kevin Seasock,
And that's Joe Fusco.
and we're the hosts of the Two Rambling Idiots podcast, a show about life, love, technology, and the love of technology. Join us every week as we ramble on about almost anything we can think of. Shows are recorded on Friday night and usually posted by Saturday morning. For more information or to listen to previous episodes, you can find us at Two Rambling Idiots, that's the word two, not the number two, .blogspot.com, or search for us on iTunes using the phrase Rambling Idiots.
That was a nice intro, Joe. And definitely check his show out, tworamblingidiots.blogspot.com. And of course, you can find it on iTunes. Well, that's cool. And if you do a podcast and you got a promo, send it over. We'll play it here on the show. I think maybe one or two more emails here. I got an email here from Ron. He's a buddy of mine here in Hawaii. Todd, just got done listening to your latest show for Saturday Morning Tech, and I must say this was by far the best one yet. Really enjoyed having Paul on board and all that he brought to the table. It really enhanced the diversity of the thought across the group and brought up more pointed opinions from Rob and yourself as well. Awesome. Thanks, Ron. And the last, this one here, I'm not allowed to actually, I'm going to have a link to an app that Nir, one of our longtime fans in Israel, sent me. So I'll link this up. He says it's pronounced like Waze. Yeah, Waze is an app. So definitely want to check that out, Nir. Thanks for that. Okay, that's it, folks. I'm going to get off in here before my nose falls off. Everyone take care. And those of you that were watching the video, I don't even know if I want to put the video up, but thanks for being here and being part of the family. And everyone take care. We'll see you on Saturday Morning Tech. It's been a great one. Everyone take care. And aloha.